Phone call completed.
That was loud. All right, we're here on 80. Trying to get about 27 is going to be my guess. 27 MPGs on the way to work today. Just came up a big hill. Been testing this every few days just to see how much improvement I'm getting. I'm gonna go with 27 today. I'll take you for the ride today. I'm at 21.4. It's been getting really good gas mileage. Supposed to get an ice storm today. It's 32. And raining pretty good right now, so it was 32 right when I left. Let's see what happens. Just gotta go in for a little bit. Last day going down to Nutley. Long time coming. We started this project middle of November. A lot of miles. Probably 5,000 miles, something like that. So that's a good reimbursement. 53 cents a mile. Making it happen. Once we crest this hill here in Roxbury, it's literally downhill the whole way. That's why I'm saying 27. It's a nice cruise in. The cruise at 65 and we'll roll in. I think I've noticed that it'll hover in fuel saver just a little bit longer than it would before with the older plugs. When you hover in fuel saver, it keeps that gas mileage a little bit higher. I say fuel saver because that's what it shows on the dash. There's two distinct markers. One is fuel saver, and the other one in the temperature window is eco mode, right in between the temp and the compass. So we're on the downhill now. And we're gonna watch this go way up, because the rest of the way coasting. Coast and roll. He doesn't know where he wants to go. He's lost. I do like the automatic wipers and the automatic headlights on the Jeep. They do function very well. The headlights get a little confused sometimes on a windy road with reflectors on guardrails. But for the most part, they do work very well. And the dimming feature of the automatic high beam is pretty cool. It doesn't cut it, it just fades it. It's definitely a nice feature. It is a 2010, so it's 12 years old already. But it does have some cool features. I also do like the double stalk on the steering wheel, one for headlight, one for windshield wiper. I have a 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited, and that one only has one stalk for high beam and washer, everything on one. They moved the headlight switch back up to the left-hand side of the steering wheel on the dashboard. Been using super gas since I got it. Every once in a while throw in an injector cleaner. I like the which one is it actually? I forget. There's a couple race gas mixes. One is called Madditive, and that's a cleaner. I like all the Lucas products. Never had an issue. Every once in a while, throw in a quart of Marvel Mystery Oil into the fuel tank. When I first got this Jeep, I know there was very old gas. It hadn't been driven in a few years. Still started right up, but like on every 10th startup, it would glitch. And it's an automatic start, kind of. You have to twist the key and then you could let it go and it'll start. And it's usually on like 3 cranks. But every 10th startup, right when I first got it, it was weird, because it would start crisp every other time, but then it would glitch and then just crank and crank and crank and crank for 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 10 seconds, and then start. But after a bunch of injector cleaners and a couple Marvel Mystery Oils, it hasn't done that in 6 months. So I'm thinking it was injector related, but it otherwise ran perfect. So it was weird. Maintenance, I did oils. I'm gonna do transmission fluid next and differentials. I have the Liquid Moly 1500 trans fluid. I use Mobile One, a little mix of 020 and 520, and again Marvel Mystery Oil. So engine wise, no ticking noises, no clanking, nothing. It is smooth. You get the little bit of tick from the fuel injector at idle, and that's all you hear. And that's all normal. But at 150K on a cold start, there's no lifter pump ups, nothing like that. It's solid. It's quiet. No issue. pretty grateful for that. The thing that I heard is that is proper oil changes. Proper oil changing and keeping those lifters clean and not clogged. I threw in a Mobil 1 oil filter when I first got it. It was an oversized filter. And then I'm trying this time around a K&N filter. I haven't cut them open, but I know that they're premium filters, so that we're getting a good mix. I got a Wix filter for the transmission fluid. There's actually 2 filters on this specific transmission. There's a spin-on and a flat pre-filter and a post-filter. I'm not really sure how it works, but there's a drain back filter. But you have to remove the pan to access both of them, so it's a little bit of a big job. I'm gonna have to get it up in the garage on the ramps. Yeah, for the newer plugs, it feels like I could just keep it in fuel saver as long as I want after I get up to cruising speed. I mean, I could just hold it in fuel saver. Couple really big hills coming up, going down, so I'm expecting this to go way up. A.m. Nobody on the road. I mean, there is a storm today, so people might be working from their home office. Somebody was asking if you can feel it vibrating in fuel saver mode. Now that is, you're running the car in 4 cylinders when it's on fuel saver. but it's reducing the number of cylinders evenly and equally on each bank. Can you feel it? Yes, you could feel it. Is it very noticeable? No. It's actually pretty smooth. I'm trying to give you a relation on how noticeable it is. When you're off the gas, unnoticeable. And the reason it's unnoticeable is when you're off the gas and you're coasting, all the fuel injectors go to 0 pulse width. So your engine isn't even running. It's running, but there's no fuel being provided to the engine. And if you don't believe me, get a scan tool, watch the injector pulse width, and watch it go to 0 milliseconds, which means no fuel is being provided to the engine, which means no heat is being generated, no fuel is being burned. It's just your engine is spinning based on the momentum of the vehicle. Obviously, you're not going to go very far. You're only going to get carried as far as the momentum that you have stored. And as soon as you touch that gas pedal, the injector pulse width will pick up again. And that's a seamless transition. You're not going to feel that. For fuel saver, when you're just on the gas like I am right now, you're in 4-cylinder mode. 4 of the injectors are firing, the other 4 are dead, and 4 of the intake lifters are dead. So because of that, you get the slightest stuttering of the engine. It doesn't even feel like a misfire, because with a misfire on 1 cylinder, you'll get an out of balance. With this, you're actually misfiring 4 cylinders evenly, so that it's almost like it's canceling itself out. But it is slightly noticeable. Annoying, nah. You could just block it out. But you can see how long I'm in fuel saver here. It's just, I can run it like this. No, I'm not doing anything stupid. I'm not doing 50 miles an hour on Route 80. I'm going with traffic, 65. Just moving along. So I feel like before, if I wanted to run with traffic at 65 on Route 80, it would go into fuel saver, in and out of fuel saver. It didn't have enough oomph. There wasn't enough torque in the 4 cylinders that were running to keep up with traffic at this pace. I mean, feels like it's a little bit stronger. Now, I'm not doing a 1 second better quarter mile speed. You're talking about probably hundredths better, but that hundredth better is going to be, you know, maybe a mile or 2 miles per gallon more. We're at 21.7. Got a trick little camera setup coming, because I know the iPhone is just miserable to record with, but I want to try this new setup that I have where I could hands-free record the gauge cluster, inside shot, outside shot, live shot, live the whole thing, but have up to 8 cameras, which is pretty insane. 8 cameras, live stream, all selectable, on command, and show you what we could do. So that was my glitch. I hit a bump, hit the pedal a little bit too hard, and it came out of fuel saver, but that was nothing. You got to push down on the pedal pretty good to get it out of fuel saver. Some of these bigger bumps. Eco mode, if everyone likes to call it that. On my 2018, there's actually a button on the dash, in the middle of the dash, to turn eco mode off, auto start off, but it doesn't remember the setting. It's so annoying. This one has the park assist, which is an actual switch, not a button, and the park assist, I just leave it off. It's annoying. I don't need to hear beeping when I'm backing up. And it stays off. Perfect. Auto start? Don't need that crap. Probably could disable it, I'm not sure. I'm about to download JScan and see if I could do it for that car. Pedal commander? Amazing. I got a PC31 non-Bluetooth unit, Facebook Marketplace, $100, no shipping, picked it up on the way home. Not a tuner. It's an interface between the gas pedal and the ECU. You disconnect the switch, you disconnect the plug from the gas pedal, you plug in the pedal commander, you plug the pedal commander back into the gas pedal. It's a loop. And then it has 4 settings, and then for each one of those 4 settings, there's 8 adjustment points. And I chose number 3, neutral. So it's like sport. There's one more above that, sport plus. Sport plus was way too touchy of a gas pedal. The ramp in was too much. But sport, perfect. Just enough that you could still be gentle on the throttle, but when you touch the throttle, you have throttle. In the stock form, there's a delay and it's mush. So not only is there a delay, but it's very slow to respond. It's a little bit hard to explain. It's not a direct connection. You're dealing with the ECU. You have to hit a pedal, which is not directly connected. It's connected by software. So when you touch the pedal, it recognizes that, and then whatever timing delay is built into the ECU and ramp speed and all of that, the pedal commander and in its programming sends a stronger signal, more voltage, however it works. It opens that throttle body faster, crisper, more on the initial touch. So that's why it feels a tiny bit better on stoplights and cruising, because you remove that delay from the stoplight start and it wants to go right away. So yeah, I think it's Eco, City, Sport, and Sport Plus. And in each one of those you have +4 and -4. So I chose, after going through all the modes, Eco is stock, City is almost unnoticeably different, Sport was a noticeable difference, Sport Plus was too much to drive on the street. It was like a little bit of a jerk when you start, which that's not smooth. You don't want your drink falling over when you start. Probably good for racing though. Definitely would put it on Sport Plus and then adjust the set points all the way up for 4 more points. You'll get that ultra fast response. PC31, $100. Huge difference. It just makes traffic light more enjoyable. So I think the next thing would be to get the Trinity and then tune it in, because I know it's not tuned for super gas, and apparently that's a big deal. You tune it in for the 93 octane tune and it definitely picks up a little bit more power. And then long term, the exhaust is nice. It's nice to be able to hear yourself think. But I'm almost positive that I do have a couple header bolts broken on the exhaust manifold. Every once in a while, you can hear an exhaust leak. Tick, not a engine tick. It's an exhaust leak, and the header to downpipes, all of that stuff is rusted. It's 150,000 miles old. Surface rust has gotten to it. The bolts look like they'll just break when you take them apart. So the downpipes, oxygen sensors, the muffler has got a lot of surface rust. The underside of the truck is clean. It's nice. Minus that belly pan on the fuel tank. Everything was good, solid. And I replaced that fuel tank skid plate, so we're good there too. But The muffler system, the exhaust system, it's 150,000, 12 years old. So when I'm gonna do it, I'm probably gonna pull the heads and make it a freaking job, but pull the intake, pull the heads, cut the downpipes, remove all the broken studs. I mean, it's all rusted. It looks like I'm watching videos of people pulling studs. They're all broken, which is a little bit scary because it's going to be involved. You saw a lot of dudes welding nuts and welding onto those broken studs. It looked like a headache. So at that point, do I just get heads reworked on the side and then get the headers, install the headers, get all of that ready just to go, and then make it a weekend swap over? Probably makes more sense to do that. Expensive. I see these Edelbrock heads, $1,500 each, but they flow. So for $1,500, so then you're at $3,000. Might as well get the intake. So this Holly Sniper or something like that, another $800. So now you're at $4,000. Then the headers, the American Racing headers are $2,000. So now you're at $6,000 for heads and the headers. $6,000 heads and headers, and you get what? 40 horsepower, 50 horsepower, $6,000. Crazy. For a 12-year-old, 150,000-mile Jeep. I bought the Jeep for $1,000. Well, that's basically the whole trip here. All right. 21.3. Not where I thought it would go to, but I was able to keep it in fuel saver for a long time. Majority of the rip. I also didn't reset it, which makes a big difference because it's using all the previous miles calculation into the average, which that's why it didn't go up crazy when we went down all those mountains. But yeah, 21.4. I'll hit you back up on the way home, and when we're pulling in the driveway, I'll give the blowout and see where we're at. All right. Later.